Today we're going to discuss cardio versus resistance training and what's the best approach towards losing weight. Before we start discussing that, let's speak a little about weight loss. Weight loss is very ill-defined and a loosely termed way to put it. You could be losing fat weight, muscle weight, water weight, fat weight being the weight I'm assuming everybody wants to lose. So fat by nature is a lot lighter than muscle and it somewhat looks like this. When we're talking about getting that toned look, we are actually speaking about dropping the fat weight and increasing the muscle weight so that there is an increase in your lean body mass. Let's look at cardio first. Cardio is split into two, right? There's low intensity steady state and high intensity interval training. With the crunching time and with the lifestyle that we follow these days, there has been a lot of stigma going around this, saying cardio is ineffective, you run for 30-45 minutes on the treadmill, it's not going to do shit for your fat loss, for your weight loss. It's not going to work for your fat loss. That is true and I support that. However, you need low intensity steady state for your recovery. Your anxiety, your stress, it helps you sleep at night. There are two types of cholesterols in your body. One is low density lipoprotein and one's high density lipoprotein. High density HDL being the good cholesterol and the other one being a bad cholesterol. So every time that you hear somebody saying or your uncle saying I have cholesterol issues, it is because there is an increased level in LDL. So what this does is it brings down LDL and it increases the HDL, which in turn boosts your metabolism and makes you a little healthier. Moreover, when you for a long period of time, not that long, but a reasonably long period of time do low intensity cardio, it forces your heart to pump more blood and oxygen into the vascular system of the body, which in turn strengthens your heart muscles and strengthens it so that it can work more efficiently as what is required for this, because this is high intensity. High intensity interval training is nothing but a very high intensity round of physical activity followed by a short interval of active rest. Active rest could be either you're doing nothing at all or you're moving at a very slow pace of activity. What this does it burns more calories than this in half the time. Technically speaking, this burns somewhat around 144 to 190 calories per half an hour, per 30 minutes, and this burns around 214 to 294 calories in half an hour. Right? This looks amazing. This is as per recorded by the study carried out by Harvard Medical School. The problem with this is everybody cannot perform it and you need a lot of recovery time for HIIT. The good aspect about this is that it increases your EPOC, that's exercise post-oxygen consumption. EPOC in very vague terms means after you step off the treadmill, how many calories are you burning doing absolutely nothing? So for the next 8 hours, HIIT keeps your metabolism revved up and it keeps your calorie burning process at a higher rate as opposed to this. This looks pretty good at the moment, right? However, this is not meant for everybody. People with heart problems or people with asthma cannot do this. And also, you cannot supplement this with resistance training. You see, resistance training and HIIT have more in common than LISS and HIIT have. Both of these work on your EPOC. There is this thing going on about resistance training that people are under the impression that lifting weights builds your muscles. It does not. Lifting weights while you are in the gym breaks your muscles. It tears your muscles. That's how resistance training works. Once your muscles are toned, it takes roughly about 48 to 72 hours for them to build again. In those hours, your body is forced to burn more calories than it is used to. Now, funny thing is, in half an hour, your body burns around 90 to 122 calories, which is a lot lesser than this. However, in resistance training, the EPOC is a lot higher than what HIIT provides. So resistance training will build your lean muscle. It will give you a post-workout burn, a post-workout increased metabolism and an increased calorie expenditure. Now, this also leads to muscle repair. So this is what is required for recovery. This is not actually cardio versus strength training after all. It is cardio plus resistance training, and that is the best approach to losing weight. Now, what we need to keep in mind is that more than anything, your RMR, that is your resting metabolic rate, is what burns your calories. Because you are working out for what, say 1.5 hour tops. 22.5 hours that are remaining, rest of the day, is what burns your calories. So our focus when we're trying to lose weight has to be on increasing this. Resting metabolic rate is how many calories your body burns when it is doing absolutely nothing physically. So this is where we need to boost. This is what your metabolism is. Those skinny guys who eat pizzas and everything but they're not putting on weight, that's because they have an extremely high RMR. So we are going to focus on boosting this, increasing this, and how we can make the most of an already elevated metabolic rate. We will, in the next video, cover how to calculate our resting metabolic rate. If you have to increase it, you have to know what it already is. The difference between the very popular BMR, that's your basal metabolic rate, and RMR, how to calculate your body fat percentage, and the whole calorie counting, how many calories should I eat in a day to lose weight. This is what we'll be covering in the next video. So I'll see you then. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Until then.